You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I'll like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. We have each other, and for that we have each other, and we will rise, we will rise, we will rise, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, I like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
She did do a nice job. Fantastic. Thank you very much. My name is Guy Finney, and I have the honor and the privilege of sitting on the Community Board of Trustees. And on behalf of my fellow Community Board of Trustees, I thank you, the community, for the support that you have shown the Jeremiah program. It has just been awesome, or like I say, it is full of awesomeness. Thank you very, very, very much. I also just want to take pause and thank our Jeremiah program staff who have just been doing amazing work to keep this program moving forward, to keep timelines moving forward, to make sure this building was available, to make sure the program continued to move forward, to make sure that we were continuing to bring participants into the program. All of that has happened, even in these trying, challenging days. And that is tremendous effort. And again, on behalf of the Community Board of Trustees, we thank you with all of our heart. And with that, I would like to introduce you to Jo Marie Morris, our Executive Director of the Jeremiah program. Jo Marie.
Thanks so much, Guy, and thank you all for being here. Like one of my favorite characters would say, it's a rather blustery day. But again, thanks again. The incredible cross-sector support that made Jeremiah program happen here in our community is unsurpassed. But most importantly, I wanted to say it's those women in the program that are in these walls at our community now, learning and growing together, who are determined to make a better life for themselves and for their children now and for generations to come. This is for you. I love you so much. Woo!
I think we're done.
There are two public health crises, COVID and also the awakening of many people about how racism is so pervasive.
We often engage with poverty as an economic issue. It's actually a social justice one.
Justice is a community issue.
We don't have a poverty system in this country that works. We have a poverty system that is a poverty prison.
The systems in place almost virtually make it impossible for somebody to move out of generational poverty.
Women are twice as likely, if they're single moms, to be at the poverty level.
You can't pay your rent, you've got medical issues with your child, you have educational challenges for yourself. It's not necessarily always safe.
Jobs that don't pay enough for people to build wealth.
A child that is raised in not just poverty, but being homeless, they may never recover.
Jeremiah is one of the nation's most successful strategies to end the cycle of poverty for single moms and their children 2 generations at a time. Providing safe, affordable housing, career track, college education, on-site early childhood education for their children, life skills and empowerment training, and then this community of support.
Things started getting rocky for me is when my parents got separated. My dad had a gambling addiction, and when he left the home is when I started looking to different things, a lot of fear, and there was definitely a lot of anger. From ages 12 to 15, my drug abuse went to addiction, and that's when I first started experimenting with methamphetamine. For 10 years, I was in different chemical dependency treatments. My mental health was never addressed. I was never in a supportive, structured place for long enough. When I turned 18, I made a bad decision, and I was seeing somebody who was using drugs, and I ended up getting pregnant with my first son, Justice, and moved in with my kid's dad. He was really emotionally, physically abusive, involved in crime, criminal behavior. So my dreams and hopes for the future would be doing local social work, victim advocacy for women in recovery or people that struggle with mental health. Having Grace with me is another reminder of just what I've overcame, and that I am supposed to be a mother to her, and that keeps me going throughout the day is God's grace and my grace.
For a mom to be a participant in Jeremiah program, they have to be attending college, they have to be working or volunteering part-time, their children have to be going to the Early Learning Center, the Child Development Center, they have to be meeting with their family coaches, they have to be attending weekly life skills classes.
My mom, she had a drug addiction. She was using drugs when I was born. We've never lived in a place for more than a year. In and out of shelters, foster care. Childhood wasn't really childhood because we had to worry about like survival. I struggled a lot with like behaviors though. Like I fought a lot. I fought a ton. I fought a ton in middle school and high school. I started just to know like there was more to life. You know, I started reflecting on my childhood and I didn't want to be like my mom or what I've seen. I knew like I could do more. Like I knew I was smart and I've always had it in me, like I can do more. And that's when I started getting introduced to like the healthcare field. And I decided to do the CNA program. And I decided to do the PCA program. And at that time I was working in long-term care. And I started to see there's nurses, there's doctors, there's more. I have Marley and Riley. I was very scared to be a mom because I didn't know what a mom was. So I was never taught the I love yous, the hugs, the kisses. Like I knew I had to do that. I just didn't think that I could be like a good mom, like I would be enough. So yeah, I'm gonna get emotional. Yeah, like yeah, I'm sorry.
It's a holistic training that when we say that the moms are empowered through this, it's both psychologically and then just the fundamentals, right? You're giving them the educational foundation, you're developing the skills. They show up every week, they do their homework, they're engaged. They start to recognize this is a long-term commitment and there's going to be a long-term change. And they start believing in themselves. It really does change who they are.
Knowing that education is the greatest weapon to change a life and change the world. Take people from a lower 10% economic, and then we take them to an upper economic, just from getting a 2-year degree, where they can go from an hourly wage to a salary wage and get a family-sustaining wage from picking a career.
There are barriers in front of this talent that has been created by society, by their situation. And we work to try to remove those barriers. Those empowerment coaches, those life skill coaches can come in there and start challenging them to think about, what about 5 years from now? What about 10 years from now? What's their trajectory? And then that creates a career for someone who's laying talent pipeline, connectivity in the community. Not only are we focused on the moms, but we're also focused on that future generation of children that come through this program as well.
We have a partnership now with Families First of Minnesota. This is providing Head Start and Early Head Start for all of our families.
Nobody can build a building like a Jeremiah program complex by themselves. It takes a bunch of committed partners. It takes vision. It takes years, oftentimes, lots of funding sources.
One of the most exceptional things about how Jeremiah Program Southeast Minnesota came together was this incredible cross-sector support. The Coalition for Rochester Area Housing, the collaboration of the Mayo Clinic, the City of Rochester, Olmsted County provided funding. It was this initial cross-sector support that was really allowed us to leverage further funding from the state of Minnesota.
We're able to leverage resources across systems that most places don't. There's no county organized like ours in the state of Minnesota, and very few are across the country. One of the things we could do is look at our HRA and say, hey, project-based vouchers, and that was one of the key financial strategies to getting this program open.
You know, right as we were establishing the coalition and bringing that philanthropic funding was right at the time when Jeremiah program was starting to come to fruition here. And so as we looked at the innovative and different ways that we can help support affordable housing here in Rochester and Southeast Minnesota, this was one of the first projects that came forward. This is a program that has worked and has shown a track record of success.
The private and the public sectors, the faith-based communities, come together for different reasons. I don't think we can do one without the other. I think we all need to contribute.
It really also took advantage of the unique aspects of a successful model that has a partnership between private foundations like our own, between individuals, and between the government programs. So we saw that as a long-term benefit for sustainability.
We as a society owe them that kind of support system so the next generation can even be better than the one they came from. We are all collaborating to make the next generation even more progressive than the ones that have been behind us.
They have the hope, resiliency, determination, and perseverance, but the systems that are in place make it very difficult for them to move out of poverty.
It's almost a cliche to say that it takes a village to build a family, but it's not a cliche. All of the many faceted things that are in one's larger community that have anything to say or anything to do with helping a family raise its children, the community can add if they want. The problem is they're all siloed. They don't really communicate with each other. And the Jeremiah program is so unique in that this group comes together and works together for the same mission and same purpose.
Tonight we have a really special program. Ashley DeBose, one of our alums from the St. Paul campus, and her young daughter Cameron are joining us. Some of you might remember that Ashley joined us last year for the gala, and we're bringing her up for an encore because everybody loved her so much. We're going to hear how Jeremiah program really changed the trajectory of Ashley's life and the life of her young child. We're also going to hear how determined single moms through the Jeremiah program can author their lives, their way out of poverty, and thrive. Hello. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us. We know that you're a successful songwriter, singer, that you were a finalist on The Voice. Love to hear about your Jeremiah journey. Tell us about your time at Jeremiah program.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. This is such a beautiful experience and beautiful campus, and I'm really thrilled to see everything come full circle. The Jeremiah program came into my life 11 years ago when my mom, I was in between homes, and I was just leaving, I'm trying to get my timeline right. So 2009, yes, I was pregnant, so I was in college. I was a sophomore in college when I found out I was pregnant. Very unexpectedly. I was 19 years old, and I had a decision whether I was going to stay at school, the Davis Adolphus College in St. Peter, Minnesota, or come, closer to family and support where I could raise my child. And her dad's family lived in Minneapolis, and my mom lived in St. Paul. So I was in a transition period, going from one college to the next, and I didn't have a place to live, and I had my baby on the way, and I was not married, obviously, although my daughter's dad and I were together, boyfriend and girlfriend. So my mom was trying to be resourceful and seeing what kind of opportunities were out there for me, and she found out about Jeremiah program. It was kind of serendipitous. I can't remember how she found out about it, but I think she met somebody who just happened to be affiliated with it. And she said, you look into this program. It might be a good, thing for you to be a part of, and considering you have a baby on the way, affordable housing, and they have daycare and things like that. So I went online.
Thank goodness you did that, right?
Yes.
Because look at where you are today. Obviously, a very successful young woman, and we're so happy for you because obviously that's the whole mission of the Jeremiah program. And I'm wondering if you would be able to tell the viewers if there's anything in particular that helped you reach the goals that you clearly had set for yourself because you were a part of this holistic program.
There's so many things, it's hard to put my finger on one, but one thing that came to mind as I'm watching and listening to the stories, and just, it's so easy to fall behind, you know what I'm saying? And especially being that I didn't have any real skills. I was working in like customer service and in the restaurant industry and things like that. So, those are low paying jobs. And then when you throw a baby into the mix and just all the expenses that come with raising a child, and then add in your own living expenses and things, it's so easy to get behind. And what the Jeremiah program does, and what it did for me, was it allowed living to be more affordable. It allowed me to be able to have childcare for my daughter, so I could go to college and develop skills and earn an education, you know, and position myself in the world so that I can get ahead instead of fall behind because of bills and inability to care for my child and work. And you know, it could have easily piled on and snowballed, but the Jeremiah program was there for me, not only like providing the resources of affordable housing and daycare for my child, but life skills classes in a community where I felt supported, and I had a coach where I would come down there and just be able to air my woes and my everything, and they were there for us. They were there for us emotionally too, not just physically or financially for us. And so it really made a difference. I can't imagine what my story would be like without the Jeremiah program.
Well, and we love hearing it, but I know Jo Marie is antsy to talk to this little beauty that you brought with you.
Yes, Cameron, thank you so much for joining us as well. Let's see, how old are you now?
I'm 11 years old.
And so that must be 5th grade or so?
Yes, 5th grade.
All right, well tell us about school. Tell us about your school.
School has been doing really, really well. It's been kind of confusing because of COVID and everything that's just been switching up. So I think that school has been going really, really well. I started to do hybrid for the start of the school in September, and that was really, really fun. Yeah, it was just kind of a different experience for me, but now I just started doing distance learning, and that has also been very fun, and I'm kind of getting used to it because of my experience with distance learning in 4th grade, because that's how we ended the year. But I think that school has been going really well for me.
And I hear that you're in a Mandarin immersion school, is that right?
Yes.
So you're also learning Mandarin as well as English.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's going really good. I've been there for 5 years now, ever since kindergarten. And I love it here. It's really, really awesome. And I just love learning Chinese.
Have you ever felt as intimidated by an 11-year-old, Jo, as this
No,
one?
pretty much not. Pretty much not.
So, Cameron, I understand that you moved into the Jeremiah program with your mom when you were just a couple weeks old. Clearly you don't remember that, but you lived there until you were 4 years old.
Yep.
So, do you have memories of living at the Jeremiah program?
I do.
Yes?
Yeah. I remember just meeting some of my friends, like my first friends, kid friends here, and that was really, really awesome for me. And I still talk to them ever since then. And I remember just going to school here. It was really awesome, and they provided a lot of fun activities for the little kids and everything. And so I really, really enjoyed my time here. And I also remember just like all of the activities we used to do all together and how they would help me with school. And I feel like they had a big impact on who I am.
And now you're 11.
Yes.
And I had heard from your mom that you're an entrepreneur, that you started your own business. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to now.
Well, I have been doing a lot of stuff like with my friends, and like creating ideas and then kind of talking with them. But this idea, I kind of thought about it throughout the summer, and it was to make a slime business. And I was like, man, I want to make a slime business. I want to decorate the slime, different colors and all that stuff. And so I started to do it. I started to create my website and everything, like maybe in July. And so I just customized it and everything by myself, and we're almost done with the website. So I'm really, really excited for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, the containers.
Yes, I have the containers. I ordered everything, and my mom, of course, helped me. But I ordered everything, and then I was like, let's get the slime. And so I started making slime, and like, it's ready for people to get. So when my business comes out, I'm really excited about it.
So is there any advice that, we know we have some of the Jeremiah moms that are watching tonight, and some of their kids are watching. Any advice you would give to the Jeremiah kids that are just moving onto the campus now?
I would say enjoy your time here, because you're not going to regret it, and you're going to make really happy moments too.
I know that our viewers and the donors would be very interested in knowing what the greatest impact Jeremiah had on your life.
I still repeat to myself, I'm important, I'm lovable, and I'm valuable. I don't always feel like I believe it, and sometimes that's why I have to repeat it to myself, because I have to remind myself of that. But
well, trust me, you are. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding with this beautiful daughter that you're raising. Honestly.
But I have my moments, like I think
We all
everybody
have.
do.
Yes, of course.
In Jeremiah program, they believed in me and the women that were in the program with me when we didn't have anything to show for. And it wasn't about what we had to show for. It was about their love for us. It was about their belief in us and the belief that our core values, that we were important, we were lovable, and we were valuable. So I think even when life gets hard, I think that's the real test of life is how does something serve you, right? Well, when you're down and you're feeling like, when you have those moments and those things that you turn to kind of help you get through those moments and pull you out of those moments, that's when you know something is working in life, right? And I feel like those core values that they instilled in us in empowerment class lasted me throughout, and even today helps me.
So that leads me to another very important thing. How do you suppose your being in the Jeremiah program has impacted Cameron's life?
Wow, I mean, it set me up for success. It allowed me, I got my degree in mathematics, even though I don't use it right now. I was able to have an experience that was very enriching, that, I'm able to earn a living and stay afloat. I'm not in poverty. And I feel like it really it set me up for success in that way. Because like I said, that snowball effect that didn't happen because I had this resource and the support of Jeremiah program. I felt like now she's able to start from a place instead of starting behind, she's able to take the baton and carry it further because she's not coming from a place of poverty and I feel like from where I'm positioned, she's able to go farther, even further than I did. And so I'm going to sing an a cappella before we close tonight. It's from my song called Better. It's a song that I wrote. It can be found on my BU album, and that's everywhere on iTunes, Apple Music. And it's going to be featured in the full-length documentary, and this is Better. It ain't always gonna be sunny outside. Sometimes you find yourself right smack dab in the middle of a dark cloud that seems to stick around for a while. And while everybody's smiling, you find yourself wondering why it happens to you and only you and never them. But right around the corner there's a place where you will find yourself thinking, wow, if only I knew then what I know now. Yeah, it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. It gets better. To my single mamas working hard to provide, to my young mamas hustling trying to survive. Oh yeah, this is for my students worried about tuition, attendance, scraping up past due rent. And we know money ain't always the issue. Got heartache and heartbreak. I hate yous, I miss you. And the loss of loved ones cut the deepest. It's hard living when you'll never see them. But right around the corner there's a place you will find yourself thinking, wow, if only I knew then what I know now. Yeah, it gets better. Said it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. I'm going to end it right there because I'm a little hoarse today. That's who I am. That is better, and that's dedicated to all the families current and incoming at Jeremiah program. Thank you so much.